John Thompson.
John Thompson. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Another recent saga as of late resulted in drag queen Martina Maricino, who performs under the name of Adam Devine, has a Twitter handle that I will not repeat on the air. Originally scheduled to perform Story Hour and Show for Children at an August 14th event, so it would have been this weekend. Concerned residents discovered the Twitter profile belonging to Devine consisted of nearly 100% gay pornography, a personal Facebook page calling for donations to the Satanic Temple, writing Hail Satan and other posts. Also had dozens of videos uploaded to XTube with words like incest and brother often appearing in the title.
Just the type of person I want at my kid's party.
Awesome. Thankfully, that individual is not going to perform anymore, and we'll bring you some more of the details. But one of the individuals who brought this entire issue to the forefront was Becky Strohmeier, chairwoman of the Bloomington Patriots Group, and she joins us here this morning on Justice and Drew.
Good morning, Becky.
Good morning, guys.
Thank you for
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks for giving us some time this morning and joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So back up the story a little bit. We know and I'll give a little bit more background. We want to hear how, from your perspective, how this whole thing went down. The Bloomington City manager, Jamie Verbruge, said on Verbruge, sorry, thank you, said Thursday that the city has decided to not have that individual we were mentioning among the performers of the Pride event. Then went on to say the city became aware of the allegations this past Monday that one of the performers booked for the Pride event had a social media presence that includes explicit material. The city took time to independently verify that the allegations was factual. They said, I think we all collectively, as we were talking about the story, Becky, kind of went like, really? You weren't aware of this ahead of time? So give us a little bit of background and how you became aware of it and how this whole thing played out for you.
You know, this thing was just so interesting because, as you know, we hosted our Back to Blue about 3 weeks ago. And remember, that's fascist radicalization, and city didn't help us at all. Mayor wouldn't come, city council wouldn't come. We're all terrible people. So, it's just really interesting that about 2 days after our Back to Blue, that started looking into this Pride event. And, I'm not a counter protester. I don't usually protest events or anything, but I started looking into this, and I'm like, taxpayers should not be paying for this. This is ridiculous. Anyways, I just started Googling these names, and I had already found just such inappropriate stuff. And, I understand adults are adults, and they live adult life, but if you are a children's entertainer, it's your responsibility to make sure you've got a clean internet footprint.
It seems like it would be smart.
Yeah, if you're trying to be a good children's entertainer, the best children's entertainers out there aren't porn stars on the side. So,
to the best of our knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
And Becky, let's be clear about something. Usually, when that stuff gets found out later on, those people don't end up doing those things again. I mean, we can cite, and I won't bore the you listening with examples of this, but we do have examples of individuals who were sort of alleged, upstanding members of our society within, certain entertainment outlets who got busted when somebody found something or got busted when they went and did something. And everyone was like, oh, well, you shouldn't be around children anymore doing this. You have an individual like this speaking at an event. One could easily deduce that, oh, well, maybe a child who gets on the internet is curious to go and find out more information about this particular individual who they just had the Cat in the Hat read to them by, only to go and find all this stuff on the internet.
Yes, exactly. And, even one of the other performers, when he spoke at City Council, he 1 second tried to claim that Twitter was an adult website and that, and the next minute he's like, well, kids can find this stuff. So, anyways, they don't get it. I got an anonymous email, though. That's what's so funny. And I don't know whether this is one of Martina's, ex-friends or something, but someone sent me an email, and they were like, do not let this person around children. This person's disgusting. Check out this Twitter page. And, I don't know what the city was doing for 4 days, while they independently verified this information. But it took me 20 minutes, maybe not even that. I mean, you go to this Twitter page, and that's about as far as you need to go.
Yeah. Well, I think based off the Twitter handle alone, that was about as far as you end up needing to go. So,
yeah. So it's disturbing how much he's around kids. And you know what? The city of Bloomington, according to Martina's resume, the city of Bloomington's hired him before. So,
wow,
it's so bizarre.
I just don't understand.
I mean, you know, there's so many people you could hire to read to kids, to entertain kids that are going to be absolutely 100% non-controversial. Why would you go out of your way to hire somebody that you know? I mean, even if all this, like, you know, the pornography stuff never even came to light, but you know that it's going to cause controversy. You know it's going to provoke some parents. Is that the intent from the people that were putting this event together?
Probably. I mean, Anita Smithson and the Human Rights Committee, everybody. I mean, that's what they do. They cater to their little, small group of people, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Well, and this event is going on, and it's going on how they planned it. You know, yes, they dropped the Satanist Pornographer. Great. We're so happy. But taxpayers, at the end of the day, are still having property tax increases and paying for drag queens at Pride at the same time. It's wild.
Well, and I wish that and Becky, I really wish that the media would cover this more. I mean, we got it from Alpha News, and I think there was a version in the Star Tribune, if I'm not mistaken. But
correct, yes.
Yeah, I'd like a follow up, because I think that it's fully within the realm of possible questioning for the media, for a local reporter to go to the Bloomington Human Rights Commissioner Anita Smithson, who called your concerns homophobic and urged her Twitter followers to report you for anti-gay hate speech. I would like an interview with Anita Smithson to ask them a very easy question. Do you think, now that you know the background of Martina, Maricino, that you were going to have speak, and read books in front of children, do you think that is appropriate based off of the background, right? Because, I mean, obviously it's ridiculous to claim that this is anti-gay hate speech. You haven't expressed anything of the sort. This is concern over what the children are being exposed to. So I think it's fair to ask the Human Rights Commissioner whether or not it's appropriate for children to have story time with somebody who's involved in pornography.
And if you were to ask that question, you might get some lip service on that, and she might, oh no, we discovered. But honestly, I don't think they do think it's inappropriate. I have never heard so many people not get it. I mean, I've had to stand in front of the city council twice now and scold them for hiring an amateur pornographer who fantasizes about young boys and incest. Like, why do I have to explain this to them?
Right.
I mean, the social media is just a cesspool. I don't get what people don't get about it.
No,
and why would a man, one of these other entertainers, Sue, clearly a man. Martina Maraschino, clearly a man. Why would you dress up like a woman to entertain children? Why? What is your purpose? Can't you do that as a man? I mean, why? What?
I don't get it.
What is the reason behind dressing up like a woman? I don't get it.
Well, for the purposes of entertaining children, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, especially when there's, like I said, hundreds and hundreds of people you can hire out there that are wholesome, non-controversial, non-provocative. I mean, it's an event that kids are going to be at. Why do you want to create controversy where there doesn't need to be any? I mean, it just seems so intentional and intentionally designed to provoke and, frankly, piss off parents.
Right. Well, they don't think about that. They just laser focused on that agenda. I mean, the city manager on Monday actually sat there and said that, he's very disappointed in what happened. Basically, they're disappointed they got caught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all that it is.
Yes, exactly. And, he even had the nerve to then say that it's borderline hate speech. So I expose this person, they cancel him, and then they turn around and say it's hate speech. But yet Anita Smithson, who has spent the last year on her social media putting out actual hate speech, that's nothing. That's freedom of speech. So it's maddening.
Well, again, we've been talking with Becky Strohmeier, chairwoman of the Bloomington Patriots Group. Thank you for taking some time out this morning and talking about this, and thank you for stepping up and pointing this out. And because these issues need to have attention drawn to them because they're not appropriate and they are being used specifically to draw people out. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. This is not about. If this was about story time for children and catering to children and doing something nice and teaching them the value of reading, you don't do this. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your beliefs are, what your ideologies are. I don't care about any of that. If you actually cared about the children, you would do everything to create a safe, nice, wholesome environment to go and do something like this.
Lacking controversy.
Right.
Well,
At a bare
canceling
minimum.
the pornographer shouldn't even really be on that list of things. You know what I'm saying? That should never. Yeah. I'm like, this whole thing is wild to me, and they don't get it. They really don't get it.
Well, Becky, I really appreciate you joining the show. I appreciate you reaching out to us and filling us in on some of the backstory here. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Stay in touch.
Bye-bye.
We'll get into more into this next hour before we talk with Katie Pavlich. Drew, you came across this Jason Whitlock